How does it work? It works on blockchain technology, and that's really the main thing here that I want to read you this thing. So blockchain technology is a system of recording information in a way that makes it difficult or impossible to change, hack, or cheat.
BIGGS and Boggs.
Okay. Welcome to Your Future Hand with Biggs and Boggs. I'm Marty Boggs.
And I'm Julian Biggs.
Thanks for joining us today, everybody. Episode 2.
Episode 2.
We made it to episode 2. So yeah, how about that intro? Yeah, we're stepping it up a bit. Make sure you subscribe. You're going to want to follow this. Okay, so let's get right into it. What are we up to today? How can we plan for tomorrow? Julian,
let's get to it. Yes, okay. So today we are joining the conversation of crypto again. If you're one of the beautiful 3 people that gave us some feedback after last week's episode.
4.
Oh, it might have been 4. Okay. But if you gave us some feedback, thank you very much. We realize that we are a brand new channel, so we are going to try and keep it beginner focused and help you understand crypto a little bit more.
If you are new, this is for you.
This is for you, yeah. So if you find value in this content, please do like and subscribe. Help us get this message out. The best thing you can do for us is just like and subscribe. Keep up to date with the content and help us spread this message.
Follow along with the journey.
So yeah, today, what are we getting into? How can we plan for tomorrow?
Everybody's pissed off. The bank ain't making me enough money. So what else can we do? There's got to be something else.
The bank will no longer make you money.
Interest in the banks is doing nothing for me, Julian. How can I solve this problem?
Exactly. And that's getting into crypto. This is solving problems for a lot of people around the world. Bitcoin, especially seeing a big hedge against inflation. And yeah, that's just the answer to a little bit of a better future for everybody is getting involved in Bitcoin. So
cryptocurrency is a threat to the way that everything's run nowadays, and this is why. I'm going to tell you why.
100%. So we're going to break down the basics. We're going to try and put it in a way that you can understand. So Bitcoin, we'll just go right to it. Bitcoin. Essentially, what you're looking at with Bitcoin is just a peer-to-peer communication system for money. It's basically the email of money. It's going to solve remittance issues and cut out the middleman and the trusted third party that you have involved in your transactions when moving money around for whatever the case may be. Now, example of that would be families that come over to our country or other countries, and they're making money here and they're doing good and they want to send money back to their family. Well, they can now send it with Bitcoin and not lose 30% to the banks involved in those transactions.
And 3 or 4 days.
And 3 or 4 days, and whatever the time may be, and you're going to lose a huge chunk of that change as you're sending it.
How does it work? It works on blockchain technology, and that's really the main thing here that I want to read you this thing. So blockchain technology is a system of recording information in a way that makes it difficult or impossible to change, hack, or cheat the system. So this is why the bigwigs don't like it very much, because they can't line their pockets with your tax dollars. Each block in the chain contains a number of transactions, and every time a new transaction occurs on the blockchain, a record of that transaction is added to every participant's ledger. Every single thing that happens, you can see, I can see, everybody that's involved in the network can see it.
So full transparency.
For any transaction. Full transparency.
And that doesn't matter how much money you have. Any transaction that's been made within Bitcoin or any blockchain technology, we can see the transactions that happen. So they can't hide where they're moving their money. The whales can no longer, there is manipulation in these markets, but they can no longer hide where they're putting their money and how they're getting involved and what cryptocurrency projects they're getting involved in.
So it gives everybody an even equal chance.
100%. So there's a little bit of the basics of blockchain. And so what's started with that is Bitcoin, obviously the first cryptocurrency. So like I was saying before, it's basically become kind of an email communication of money.
Of value.
A value, store of value. But also just, a way to...
Money is just a word that we use because that's what we were taught, right? Value is what money...
we're going to have a monetary system regardless of what happens, whether it's digital or fiat.
Money just represents value.
Yeah. Bitcoin, essentially the land of this cryptoverse. The first one. So, I'm a huge Bitcoin being the savior person, whether that takes 10 years, 20 years, doesn't matter.
Bitcoin is the answer.
Bitcoin is the savior person. And it's paved the way for all of these cryptocurrencies now. So Bitcoin being, in my opinion, the big bang of this whole thing, creating the world, that other companies now like Ethereum, Litecoin, and the other big ones, blockchains that have come in now on the land of Bitcoin and developing, buildings, essentially infrastructure for for other cryptocurrency projects, being small startups and businesses, to come into the crypto space and work within these blockchains. So essentially what you have is just that Bitcoin world, and now people building within inside of that world. So it's basically just a digital universe.
About, you said Big Bang, so what about Bitcoin universe? Ethereum planets, maybe?
Ethereum planets,
maybe?
Okay. Yeah, we're colonizing planets now. Yeah, break it down in a way you can understand. So,
exactly.
And that's just it. So you got the blockchain platforms that are building ecosystems now, that these smaller projects, gaming projects, or the other protocols and platforms that are coming into play that run within these blockchains. And giving you access to invest in small companies, essentially, is what it is. It's just within a digital world. So
you hold a coin, you hold a share. Most people would recognize it as a share in a company.
100%. And it's just like the physical world, but instead of having a big building full of department stores or businesses like that, you've got you've got digital businesses. These could be video games. They could be savings platforms.
Which right now, real estate would be the big building that people are investing in nowadays, and we're finding people having too much money and investing in buildings and then not doing anything with them, just using them to hold their value, the value that they need, right?
But also to monetize.
But not pay as much taxes on it, blah blah blah. But either way, there's people out there that own full city blocks and nobody lives in them because they just want to hold their value.
They're just owning the land.
Exactly. To hold their value.
If you own a block in London or New York or something like that, you're never going to sell that. Ever,
exactly.
Right?
Well, that's the idea, is just to store your value, right? But now there's another way to store your value that it doesn't leave people homeless and out of the streets.
100%. 100%.
So
and
filled.
And you don't have to be rich to get involved in crypto. You can work with whatever your budget may be. And so that's part of this message that we want to spread to you, is that you do not need to be rich to invest into crypto. You need $5, $10.
Well, if you have any sort of monthly contribution to the bank, like for your savings account, for your retirement account, then just look at this. Even if you start with 10% of your portfolio or 10% of your contributions and just switch them over here, just try this out for a while and just see what happens. We're going to show you a couple ways of how you can do that. But
there's also ways to do it with minimal risk now too. So you have digital currencies such as Bitcoin and Ethereum and Solana and AVAX and the whole list of 14,000 coins. And essentially they all do the same thing. You can send money around the world and do it with minimal transaction fees and minimal time, and cut out the middleman. So essentially cryptocurrencies, they all really do the same thing, but they do offer different solutions for different companies and different things around the world too. So, treating it like a savings, like Marty said, is going to be the best way. You do not need to be rich. You do not need to think that you have to invest $1,000 into Bitcoin to start. You can treat it like an RSP or a mutual fund or whatever, make monthly contributions, and just keep doing this over time, and the growth is going to be exponential. Okay?
And if you're asking yourself right now, okay, there's so many coins, there is tons of coins, and which one do I buy? Well, if you really don't know and you don't have the time to research, because number one would be look into it and see which coin you like the most. But if you don't have the time, for whatever reason, Bitcoin is a sure thing. You can start with Bitcoin, start dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin, go from there, and then use the time that you do have over the next few days, months, whatever, and start to do some research into the coins that you like. See, what are these coins doing? For instance, like Cardano is trying to basically make the world a better place. One of my favorite coins, that sort of thing, right? We have such a broad choice nowadays of everything in 2021. So it's just find the one that works for you. Find the one that you like the most. But make sure you don't just like it because of the cover of the book, right? Don't judge the book by its cover. Read a couple pages at least, because you can get burned if you buy a meme coin.
Meme coins have had a crazy run this year, and they're making people tons of money. They're community based, which is great. That's the other thing, is that crypto as a whole is really community based, and just the idea that we can take a little bit of power out of the middleman's hands and control our own finances. It gives you such a sense of freedom. Like, we're not rich yet by any means. I'm still fairly new to crypto. My first investment was just this year. So, but
it blew your mind, right?
It's blown my mind. I've been involved for less than a year, and it's blown my mind.
It's the reason why we're sitting here.
What it returns. It's the reason we're sitting here and spreading this message with you. So again, if you're finding value in this content, please help us by spreading this message. Just like, share, subscribe. That's it. Comment. Give us some feedback. What do you want to hear? Those kind of things.
We switched sides
for us.
Somebody told us we were backwards last time, so we switched sides.
BIGGS and Boggs, right? catch you on the flip side.
Okay, so why don't we show them fucking Coinbase?
So let's show them Coinbase.
Start with Coinbase. Basically, like if you don't know where to start, you don't have anything, you just download the Coinbase app. I mean, probably 99% of you guys are going to be doing this on your phones.
Coinbase is going to be the easiest on-ramp for your fiat currency to get into crypto. And again, super easy. Just start with a very light amount, $10, $20 a week, whatever you can, until you get the feel for this.
It also just allows you to watch the charts. So Coinbase is only line charts, which is a good way to start. That's how I started. I just got Coinbase, started watching the line charts for quite a few years before I got into the candles. So we'll get into that later, but sorry.
No worries.
Continue.
Okay, now we're looking at the Coinbase app. If you've gone ahead and downloaded the app, fantastic. This is what you're going to see once you've gone through your identity verification process and uploaded your personal information and photos of your ID. This is where you'll be. You want to go to the profile and settings screen to add your payment method, and you're going to be able to either add your PayPal account or a credit and debit card to this account in order to put your money into cryptocurrencies. So I'm just going to keep this simple. We're just going to open the Bitcoin chart here. This is going to allow you access to the daily time frame, the hourly time frame, the weekly, the monthly, a year, and all of the price action for Bitcoin in its history. We're going to open the Bitcoin button here, and we're going to be able to see all of the transactions that we've made within Bitcoin, within Coinbase, are all going to be available to you here in your wallet. And if you want to trade it, you hit the trade button here, and you can either buy your Bitcoin with cash, you can see, or you can convert another cryptocurrency to Bitcoin, or vice versa if you've chosen another cryptocurrency. So super simple. The app is super easy to use. It allows you to get into crypto and start looking at some of these charts. And it's very safe, very secure, and it's just a good way to get on board. And like I said, if you do use our links below, yes, we do get a referral bonus. You get a bonus, so you'll get 10% of your investment. If you put X amount of dollars into Coinbase, you'll get 10% of your investment. We get 10% of the investment as well. It's a referral link, so it does help us as well. But it doesn't even matter if you don't even want to use our referral link. Like I don't personally care. Just find Coinbase online and get into it anyways.
The time is now.
Sorry, if you are just getting into crypto, Bitcoin is really the thing that you want to learn about, and learn about the idea of why this was all started and what it really offers our society in the future.
We can sum that up. 2008 stock market crash.
Yeah.
And then obviously there was problems in the system, because obviously the stock market has crashed a few times over the last century, and but now we're in a era of technology where we can do something about it. So, stock market crash in 2008, Bitcoin launches in 2009, I do believe.
Yeah, 2009.
Late 2009.
Late 2008 and into 2009.
Okay, so almost immediately after, because I believe the stock market crash was October 2008.
Yeah,
and then it was it had to be in the works before then. No way he made it in 2 months.
Yeah, and that's just it. Maybe, Bitcoin came around. It was really is somebody trying to come up with a way to solve some of the errors within our traditional finance system, and another way that it does that is, in a digital space, you can fractionalize the amount of a certain coin. So even if there was only one Bitcoin left in the world, you can fractionalize it so much that it would still be enough for everybody to hold, right? So this is why I try to tell people that the daily dollar value of Bitcoin really does not matter, because the big picture is that there is no top for Bitcoin. Yeah. Okay. This is the same as any network or new technology. It's going to work like the electricity did. It's going to work like indoor plumbing did. It's going to work like the start of cell phones did, the launch of the internet, all those things. It's the same idea. They all have Metcalfe's law of network adoption apply to them. Of course, yeah. And how can I go to this?
Well, when you're watching the dollar value, and if you're letting that get to you, just remember it's Bitcoin compared to the U.S. dollar. The thing of comparison is also moving, and eventually the thing of comparison, U.S. dollar, that we all compare everything to, it may not even be in existence. Right. We might be comparing everything to Bitcoin in the future, and you might be like, "How many satoshis, bro? How many satoshis?"
Yeah, well, that's just it. We will like we are already passing the market cap of silver already, and like gold is on the next target for Bitcoin to trump, right?
Which is huge.
It's huge. It's huge, and people are starting to recognize it as a store of value. Now, a couple of weeks ago, when we had the infrastructure from Biden was passed, Biden passed the new infrastructure bill and signed off on that, and that's why we've had this pullback. We did expect this pullback. If you were listening last week, we did expect this pullback, and you actually you saw gold go up. I don't know if you saw that. I know that you made a nice short on gold.
I did,
actually.
Yeah, I made a pretty
good
good
short. But then
right
after that,
I know,
people pulled money.
Perfectly, yeah.
People pulled money out of Bitcoin and crypto because of this news FUD. Story. Well,
and the same thing happened. Same thing happened in 2017, and it's and honestly, because I've actually been watching Bitcoin since 2013. In the first bull run, maybe it was the second, but it would have been the first one when it went from 0.00001 to 13 cents or whatever.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I watched it at the top there, and just what is this? Anyways, don't worry about it. And then 2017, I think I bought Bitcoin at like $250, and I sold it at like $400.
Right. And it's funny because like even some of the top investors and people that I do follow that have been involved with Bitcoin since the beginning, they have very similar stories. Okay. And we're always going to learn lessons in this game of trading. You can call them mistakes if you want, but they're not. They're lessons. And the biggest lesson that I have taken from all these people who have made their own mistakes is that they sold. Okay. So trying to time market tops, you're not going to do it, okay? But the thing with Bitcoin is that it honestly has no top, okay? The network has never been shut down. There is no one on the planet that is able to change it.
Yeah, nobody owns Bitcoin, by the way. Like, unless you own Bitcoin. So you own Bitcoin.
There really is no top. And the other thing that people need to focus on, or not focus on, or be aware of, is that when we look at these charts and it looks like it's something that's two-dimensional that just goes up and down, like a mountain range in a picture, that's not the case. Okay, these charts are logarithmic, which means it's essentially like the growth of a tree. It started from a seed, it came up. The first year it grew one ring, but it's constant. This growth just goes around like the cut in a vinyl record.
It's a cosmos.
Yeah, it's never going to go back to zero. It's physically impossible for it to ever get back to zero. I think 13% of Bitcoin, actually the 13% of the circulating supply has just been lost. So even if everybody that's holding Bitcoin now sold all of their Bitcoin, 13% of it would still be in the market because it's just literally been lost, right?
But how cool is that too? Because the people that own that 13% will forever have an impact on Bitcoin's history.
Well, they're either dead or
they're dead. Well, they're probably or they lost it. But you know what I mean? Like it doesn't matter. Like
touchy.
You have if the Egyptians they put up pyramids for us to remember them, right? And it worked. Yeah, it was aliens. But anyways. Everybody wants to be remembered. If you want to be remembered, buy some Bitcoin and you are forever in the network. And that is the goal. And then that's the thing. It's like when the bank tells you, "Oh yeah, we'll give you 2% over like 30 years."
Not even. It's like 0.01% on some of this shit, man.
Yeah, and you can literally.
So I put 10 grand in. Little Jimmy waited 30 years and he made $5.
Yeah, Thanks for the free lunch, right?
Yeah, that's what that was.
Charles,
that was funny. Yeah. Let's get into the chart here.
For the traders out there, let's do the big markets go. Markets go.
Okay. Into the chart a little bit here. And what I'm looking at right now is the Bitcoin versus US dollar chart on the daily time frame. I'm going to put out weekly updates, or more often than weekly updates, probably on the daily or every couple of days if it's boring, something like that. And this is just a look at price action and where we may or may not be headed in the pretty short term, within the next month or so. So Bitcoin versus US dollar chart, I'm looking at the daily time frame. So each one of these candles represents 1 day in time. And these lines that you see behind us, the brown, pink, and blue line, brown line being the 200-day moving average, pink line being the 50-day moving average, and the blue line being the 20-day moving average. What this does is take price action throughout that duration of time and smooth it out so we can kind of judge future price action based on past performance, just like you would, reviewing some sports or anything, right? So that's basically the best indicator we have is past performance. It's all we got, so it's what we go off. And what you can see right here this is where we started the run back in July, making contact with the bottom here, and that was quite below the 200 and all of these.
28.5 or something.
28.9 I believe was the bottom there. Before we started making the run up in the second half of this bull cycle. So I pay attention to the daily time frame when I'm looking for potential entries to buy or potential trade entries, if you're leverage trading, things like that. So what I want to be seeing is, this nice bounce here where we had multiple days of contact on the 200-day moving average that gave us some nice support and pushed us back up. Okay. But the 50 also did the same thing for us here. And as you can see, we are now catching some support in that same kind of area up here is where we are right now. Now, there was a lot of talk about us potentially dropping right down to the 200-day moving average, which came in around $53,000. But you can see that along this big line of support where we made the first correction, and then built up multiple days support on this line here on the 50 as well, and then multiple days contact here before we eventually started making this nice run up. Contact over the 20-day moving average, eventually breaking down and coming into where we are now. And if I can get rid of this all nicely. Doesn't want to get rid of that one for some reason.
That one's too nice.
That one's too nice.
Way too nice of a line there. That's a really nice squiggle.
Hey, that is a nice squiggle. It really doesn't want to go.
That's the kind of squiggle that you print it and you put it up on the fridge, I think. Right? Give that one to your dad.
It doesn't want to go. We're not going to delete that one. Anyways, it doesn't matter.
It's permanent now.
So we did catch a nice bounce. People were expecting us to drop lower. Now this still could happen. But I'm not too concerned about it at this point. We are catching nice support, but I do think we'll trade sideways in this range again.
And the thing is, though, if we do trade sideways, we have a better chance of going down after sideways, in my opinion anyways. It seems like a lot of the times when the pumps or the uptrends happen, they happen fairly quickly. And when we tend to consolidate sideways, it usually tends to lead to a dump.
100%.
Or at least a downtrend, bearish divergence.
Divergence, yeah, 100%.
And we'll see.
So, like I said, we are holding the support there. Now we caught a nice bounce, and that was around the 50% Fibonacci level, and basically a retracement of moves, giving us kind of areas where we could potentially, if we break through these areas, we're potentially going to see some more downward action. If we catch support on these areas and bounce back, we're potentially going to see some more upwards action.
You may be asking yourself, why? Why does that matter? Because that's what everybody's looking at.
Yeah.
That's what everybody's basing their investments off of, and that's why.
Yeah, large investment funds, we're all watching trends. Everybody's watching trends, and the only way to do this is by judging past performance, right? So we're not the only people watching these patterns. Big money is watching these patterns, and they're doing
not
the
only
same
that,
things.
the big money, they have their target prices all set up and ready to go. They look at the chart and they go, ding, 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 I'm going to put a buy order here, sell order here, and then so they look at those lines and they literally connect the dots and they put in those orders, and then they just sit back and go hop on their yacht, and then their computer goes, ding, hits the target price, ding, hits the target price, but he comes back at the end of the day all wind up and whatever, whiskeyed up, and oh, look at that, 10 grand, woo, what a day, right? So this is why.
Whiskey throttle on crypto. Yeah.
Well,
anyways,
on the yacht
we don't want to go too much into it. We didn't try to get too much involved in too much information. We do want to keep this kind of beginner friendly, beginner focused. We know that our network of friends that we're going to be sharing this message with is fairly new.
The goal is mass adoption.
So please, if you found some valuable content, if you like the conversation, if you want to join the conversation, leave some comments. Let us know what you want us to talk about. If you're watching, please subscribe. That's going to help us get this message out. It's the only way to break the YouTube algorithm. We're not trying to be self-serving. We want to spread the message of hope for everybody that this is really going to make changes in the financial structure as we know it, and just give a little bit of hope and a little bit of power back to the people. And you will, I promise you, if you get involved, you will find financial freedom within this space.
Think about all the things that have been happening in the last 2 to 3 years. Fight for equality. This is about the biggest fight for equality that you can participate in.
100%. And
so do yourself a favor, do your kids a favor, do everybody that you know, their family and friends a favor, and get into cryptocurrency.
It is the best time. It is the best investment opportunity of our time. You do not need to be rich to get in. Just get in.
Just get in.
Before it's out of reach.
All right. Biggs and Boggs out.
Biggs and Boggs out.
Thanks,
Catch
guys.
you on the next one.
Peace.
Biggs and Boggs.